WhatsApp, as you already know, is a free and cross-platform messaging service currently owned by Facebook. It is very popular all over the world and has over 1.5 billion users. In January 2018, WhatsApp launched WhatsApp Business, an application which helps businesses to interact with their customers directly. But soon, the need of automation became obvious, and in August 2018, Facebook announced the launch of WhatsApp Business API. So this set of APIs lets businesses to implement automated messaging, or in simpler words, bots. But right now, if anyone wants to use the WhatsApp Business API, they have to wait for WhatsApp to formally approve their account, which takes a lot of time. But that doesn't mean that you have to wait to start building a WhatsApp bot. Twilio provides you a way to create and test your WhatsApp bot in a development environment. And this series is all about learning the same. That too using the Python programming language. So without any delay, let's get started. Okay, so first of all, let us try to understand what will be the flow of our WhatsApp bot. So first of all, let us try to understand what is the common scenario of conversation on WhatsApp. So simply there is a particular user who wants to send a message to another WhatsApp user. So what they do is that they simply enter the message on the WhatsApp application and then they click enter. So let's say the message is received by the WhatsApp server. So WhatsApp server will process the request, which is, let's say, from this particular phone number, send a message, let's say hello, to this particular phone number. So the intended receiver will receive the message through the WhatsApp server. So it is as simple as that. And also the person who has received the message has the capability to reply back by just creating another request, sending it to the WhatsApp server, and then WhatsApp server will fulfill that request by sending another message to the person whose phone number is 12345 in this case. So in this way, a common conversation takes place. We have basically a WhatsApp server, which is the facilitator. Now, the thing is that in order to create WhatsApp bot, what we actually mean is that on one end, we want to replace a WhatsApp user with a WhatsApp bot. So what is a bot? A bot is any kind of program which can provide automated replies for several messages. So basically, when any person will be sending a request, like in this case, to this particular user, instead of any human or any WhatsApp user, a WhatsApp bot, basically a program, will be replying. So how will that happen? Let us try to see. So for that, you will need to create a server application. So what is a server application? A server application is an application on the web which is constantly running, which is continuously running. So what will happen is that you will have to provide a callback URL to WhatsApp. Now what is a callback URL? Let us try to understand it by taking this example. Let's say you have a WhatsApp business account and your phone number is 88888. So if any customer with, let's say, a phone number 12345 wants to send a message hello to your WhatsApp business number. So what will happen is that WhatsApp server will receive that request, and now WhatsApp server has to fulfill that request. And also you have told the WhatsApp server that if any request or any message comes for the phone number 88888, then that message has to be sent to a particular server application. Now as we know that server application resides on URL, so you have to provide a callback URL. A URL which has to be called whenever a message is received by WhatsApp on your behalf. So WhatsApp will simply forward that request, that is, from this person we have received this message. So this particular request will be sent to your application. So there is no user here, there is actually an application. So the application now knows that a message has been received, and now it can reply to that particular message by just using some WhatsApp APIs. And for example, it will send that from the user with the phone number 88888, send a message to the customer with the phone number 12345, and the message is here there. So the WhatsApp server through the WhatsApp API will receive this message and then simply forward it to your customer. So in this way, a kind of communication can happen between you and your customer. But right now, the problem with this approach is that you have to get your account approved by WhatsApp first in order to use its APIs directly. And it is taking a lot of time basically to get the approval. But that doesn't mean that you have to wait a lot for just building a WhatsApp bot. There is a service or let's say there is a platform called Twilio which provides you a way to create and test your WhatsApp bot in a development environment. So Twilio is actually a cloud communication platform for building SMS, voice and messaging applications. So let me try to make you understand what Twilio has done in as simple way as possible. So what they have done is that Twilio has registered its account, its business account with WhatsApp. Okay, so Twilio has registered its business account with WhatsApp. For example, let's say this particular phone number +141 552 3886. So this phone number is Twilio's registered business account with WhatsApp. So now what happens is that any customer, let's say with phone number 12345, will send a message to the Twilio's phone number with a message, let's say join Horn Metal. So what is this message? Let us try to understand. So when this message is basically received by Twilio, by getting the request from WhatsApp server, by getting a callback from the WhatsApp server, then what will happen is that Twilio basically provides each project, each WhatsApp project that you create on Twilio with a kind of a sandbox. Okay, so basically when you create an account on Twilio and then you create a new project and then you select to use WhatsApp, then what happens is that you get a WhatsApp sandbox. So a sandbox is basically a constricted development environment, and every sandbox gets some kind of funky name on Twilio. So let's say you just selected to use WhatsApp for your current project on Twilio, then what will happen is that you will get a sandbox with a particular name. So what is happening in this case is that the user, when it sends the message join Horn Metal, so join Horn Metal will simply do that it will add your phone number to the list of senders in your particular sandbox. So what does this mean actually is that whenever you are now gonna send a message to this particular phone number, which is Twilio's registered phone number with WhatsApp, whenever you're gonna send any message to this particular phone number, then that message will actually get forwarded to your sandbox. So your sandbox will receive that message from that particular user, and now you can connect your sandbox to your server application by providing some callback URL to your sandbox, and in this way you will be able to receive the message of that user. So this is the complete chain which is happening. So let's say a customer who has been added to the list of senders of your sandbox on Twilio accounts project will send a message, let's say hello. So WhatsApp server will receive that message. Now WhatsApp server for this particular phone number has a callback URL of Twilio. So Twilio will receive that message. Now Twilio already knows that this particular phone number 12345 has been added to the list of senders of a particular sandbox whose name is Horn Metal. So that sandbox will receive that message, and now Horn Metal, that is your sandbox, and you have provided it a callback URL. So callback URL will be used and you will get that message from the user. So in this way, by using 3 people in the middle, you are able to get the message from the user. So this is how Twilio is managing the flow of WhatsApp bot. And whenever you want to reply, then what you can do is that you can just, your server application can just send a message like you want to send this particular message, hey there, to the person with the phone number 12345. So your server application using Twilio's APIs will send this message to the sandbox, and now sandbox will send this message through Twilio using the WhatsApp business APIs to WhatsApp server, and now WhatsApp server will send that message to the intended receiver, which is this particular customer. So in this way, whole conversation channel is being maintained by using Twilio and the concept of WhatsApp bots. So this is how everything is working, and I hope that this is clear now. And now we are ready to implement our WhatsApp bot using Twilio and Python. So let's get started with that now. Okay, so now let us see how we can set up a Twilio sandbox for WhatsApp. So first of all, you will need to create an account on Twilio. So Twilio will let you create a free account without any credit card information, and it is quite easy to register on their website. So once you are done with that, the next step is to create a new project. So you can simply go to your console on your account and then you can click on create project, or you can simply use this link which I have directly provided here. It is simply twilio.com/console/project/create. So here on this create project page, you have to go to products, and in the products you have to select programmable SMS because it contains the WhatsApp service, and then you have to click on continue, and now it's gonna ask you to provide a name to your new Twilio project. So I'm just gonna give it a new name like WhatsApp test bot, and then I'm gonna click on continue. So now it's gonna ask me if I want to invite any teammates, so I'm just gonna skip this step. And here we go, we have our Twilio project dashboard. So this is the dashboard of my Twilio project, and I can simply go to programmable SMS section here, and from there I can select the WhatsApp. So WhatsApp service is what I'm just going to select, and now it is asking me to activate my sandbox. So before you want to use the WhatsApp service, you of course need to create a new sandbox for your project, right? So for doing that, you have to just click on I agree and then confirm, and you will be able to get your sandbox. So a sandbox has been generated, and right now the name of my sandbox, as I can see here, is control-try, and the phone number which is associated, the Twilio phone number with which my sandbox has been associated, is this one. Mostly all the Twilio sandboxes have the same phone number, which is this particular phone number. So you can simply save this phone number as a contact on your phone, and then for example, if I have saved it as bot, then I'm just gonna send this particular message, join control-try, this particular message to the bot account, and then I will receive some kind of message which is I am all set. Now the sandbox can receive or send messages from this particular phone number. So now my WhatsApp sandbox that I have just created for my project has my WhatsApp account as one of its users, and now whenever I will send any message from here, that will be received by the Twilio sandbox, which is control-try, which is associated with my account. So now actually I'm in the learn section of the WhatsApp service here, which is just showing me what are the different things that I can do with my sandbox. So let me go to the next step, which is send a one-way message. So one-way message is basically a message which is used to start a conversation by a particular WhatsApp bot with a particular WhatsApp user. And there is a restriction here. The restriction is that the one-way WhatsApp messages can only follow some predefined templates. So you can send or start a conversation by sending only some specific type of you can say messages, which can be appointment reminders, order notifications, or verification codes. So for example, you can send an appointment reminder. So the template is your appointment is coming up at this particular time. So this kind of message will only be allowed by WhatsApp if you want to start a conversation with a particular WhatsApp user. So now I can send this particular message to myself by making a request directly through this button. And now let me see if I get that message. Yes, I got that message. Your appointment is coming up on July 21 at 3 p.m. So in this way, I am able to receive the message through my sandbox. Now let us see how can the messages sent by me can be received by my sandbox. So let me send hello. So if I send hello to my sandbox, so let us see if it receives that or not. So yeah, the message was received. So it just shows that my sandbox is capable of receiving the messages from me. So we are just learning what is happening around here. So it is saying that yes, you said hello. So it's working fine. Also, I can send a reply to it back as well. So now everything is done. We have understood a lot of things, and finally we are ready to configure our sandbox. So configuration of sandbox means that I have to set a callback URL for my sandbox. So I've already explained that what is a callback URL, a particular URL of your server application which will receive the messages sent by the user and will create a reply and send back that reply to that user. So here in the sandbox configuration, you have to provide the callback URL. So in the next video, we'll be creating a Flask application. We'll be creating that Flask server and running it, and we'll be providing its link right here so that it will be acting like a callback URL. So basically all the messages that I will be sending from here will be received by my Flask application, and my Flask application will then be able to respond to those messages and give back a reply. So that is all we are going to do. In the next video, we are going to stop this video right here. And right now, what we have done till now is that we have set up a sandbox for WhatsApp for our Twilio project. So yeah, so that is all about it. If you still have doubts, you can put them in the comment section below. That's it from this video. Thanks for watching.